and welcome to another episode of Soul Velocity. And this is your host, Snehal Singh. Today, I have an amazing guest, and that's why I'm going to just jump into the conversation. We are going to meet Capt.Sahana Sundar, a distinguished individual with 32 years of dedication towards the service of National Cadet Corps (NCC). Started as an instructor in 1989. She molded cadets in Karnataka, earning accolades, including a PM's banner for exceptional skills. Commissioned as lieutenant in 2006, Capt.Sahana served in diverse NCC battalions across India. Upon retiring as a captain, she found spark igniting minds. There is so much more that we're going to talk about that today. A nationwide writing guild involving into a successful publishing house. As an acclaimed author, Capt.Sahana's 18 published books spanning fiction, non-fiction, anthologies have earned her rewards and a reader acclamation as well. Her debut novel, Anand, and Are You Smart with Words, received accolades and were launched by Karnataka's luminaries as well. Beyond writing, Capt.Sahana's prolific poet and has written over 400 poems and has had a brief political stint as well with Aam Aadmi Party, reflecting her commitment to public service. Capt.Sahana's journey is a testament to her unwavering dedication and passion for excellence, inspiring others through writing, leadership, and indomitable spirit. I met her through a common contact, and all her work inspired me. In a short journey, she has not only helped people publish their books, but also help them in their journey of writing. And that number is way beyond what one can imagine. And let's talk about her journey. Let's connect and see what she brings to the table. And I hope by the end of this conversation, you all are inspired to write as well. So let's begin. First of all, thank you, Capt.Sahana, for being here and just giving us your time. So tell us a little bit more. How did writing happen to you? And tell us a little bit more about your journey.
Thank you, Snehal, for the wonderful introduction. And you have been great. First, I started my journey when I was very young. My father was a journalist, and he was into writing, and I've always seen as a child holding him a pen and a paper. And I don't know, at that time, I never imagined that I'm going to become a writer or author, an inspirer for writers, or any such thing was not there in my mind at all. But then when I was helping out him in crosswords, because he was the one who started crosswords in Kannada paper, and he was a great literature enthusiast. And that must have somewhere deep inside my mind, it must have been laid there. And after joining NCC, I was away from all these literary activities or writing activities. And my journey was completely different, being with the cadets, training them for military activities and all those. And all of a sudden, in my 50th year, I met a friend who said, why don't you write certain poems? And one such, question thought, I don't know. Immediately I started to write, and I came up with amazing poems. And I myself was wondering, do I have a writer in me? So that was a question that I have always asked, and I didn't know. And I started writing, and I wanted to improve my skills. It is not very easy to write. It is a very difficult task, because initially my writing was very terrible, I can say. And slowly, practicing every day, it has come to. And still, I cannot call myself a prolific author, but I want to become one. And I have been. And after my retirement, all of a sudden I jumped into a writing community. Somebody put me into a writing community, and nothing was happening there. And I thought we are all writers and we all have to contribute something towards the society. That is our purpose of a writer. And then when I joined there, I couldn't see anything happening. Then I thought, why don't I start my own writing community, and why don't I put my mind into it and make it very active? So that's how I started the writing community.
Beautiful. Actually, it is your humbleness of saying that you're still not a prolific writer, because uh, someone who understands what writing can create can actually bring in people together and help them and motivate them in their journey of writing. Okay. How did that initiate? Like, you learning your own writing and doing for the community, but at the same time, you're actually helping other individuals in their journey of writing and taking it that to the next level. How did that happen?
See, my only philosophy of life is learning from cradle to the deathbed or to the grave. That is my philosophy, and so I have been learning. And I thought whatever comes to my mind, because fiction is basically imagination, and I believe that because I had lot of stories coming into my mind and my imagination was very broad, I can say. So that made me write fictional stories. And at the same time, I kept on learning, researching about what is writing. And then I went through and through. I thought, whatever I am learning, let me share with my community also. So side by side, they also learn and things like that. And then only because that I want to become a good author and I want to bring to the community, because in my NCC days there were very varied topics where I have coached my cadets for. Like maybe because we have something called as flag area, where we were given some themes, and on themes I had to prepare the cadets to uh, prepare their explanation, or the briefing for the flag area. So that time many things had haunted me, like what will be the topics used to say that like cleanliness is a panacea for all health problems, unity in diversity, or what is your vision 2020 in the I mean 20 years back, 2000, I was asked what was the vision 2020 for India, and so all such topics, I had a lot of thinking had gone into my mind. And I thought through writers, there are so many problems in the country, not only in the country, in the world. And not only problems, there are, there is something lacking, I always feel. And in the education system also. So I wanted to somehow, I don't know what was the reason behind it, but I wanted to bring all writers together, because I thought they are the people who have got the highest level of intellectual capacity. So that's how I brought the writers together. And as I learned, I made them learn also. And I started to spark writers retreat, and I called all very prolific authors of India, like Radhakrishnan Pillai had come, and Shatrujit Nath, and Vasanti Hari. So all very prolific writers had come and coached our aspirants, writing aspirants. And that's how so many people wrote books. So many of the writers became authors. And that's how it all started, Snehal.
Beautiful. Uh, So we have been talking about writing, okay? And
Mm.
I personally believe that writing has more than just about writing. So I know that writing is about publishing and, bringing change in the world and, talking through books and expressing. But at the same time, I feel that writing for me personally brings in a lot of healing, a lot of clarity,
Yeah.
a lot of routine and discipline to a
Yeah.
certain extent. So
Mm.
what has writing been for you?
See, writing has been very therapeutic. It is a therapeutic course, I can say, because whatever, we are human beings, and a lot of disappointments will be there in our life, and we deal with emotions and all these, certain toxic things which are there in our mind. If we have to let it go out of us, see, writing is a one thing where you can write it off, all whatever is there in your mind, whether you publish it or not. Even writing in your own space and in your own private doors, that helps a lot. That helps to come out with all your negative feeling. You will be out of all the negative feelings. You become a different human being. Writing transforms you. Writing transforms you. You become more spiritual, more philosophical, more contributing, more social. I don't know. There are lots of advantages in writing. That's what I feel.
So tell me this. I'm a very story lovers person. Tell me, how did your personal first book happen?
Yeah. Personal first book was actually a miracle, I can say, because I told you I had this WhatsApp group, Sparking Authors. And that time, in the crave of, I had a craze for learning, I can say, craze for knowing more and more about writing. So I was trying to browse through the internet for various writing groups. So when I just jumped into one writing group from Nigeria, and that writing group has been very, very kind to me. Whatever I write, they were so impressed by my writing, and they all wanted to, most of them joined my group from Nigeria. And one such boy was Nikoshi Wisdom, and he was a 24-year-old boy when he joined my group. And thereafter, I used to have lot of competitions in my group, writing competitions, and whatever happened in India, I asked him to write. So when Siddhartha Hegde, the owner of Cafe Coffee Day, when he drowned in river Netravati, the whole world, I think the whole India went to a kind of a shock. And even I was ruminating, why this young fellow, what made him? Because he has really revolutionized coffee in India. And why this fellow had to jump into river Netravati? That was a mysterious question which had no, which was there in everybody's mind. So, and I asked all my writers to pour in their feelings and write about Siddhartha Hegde on the death day. So, when they wrote, Wisdom was so very attractive, he became very emotional. And he said, why don't we start a project on him? Why don't we start a biography on him? Then I said, I had never written any book that time. So he was the main person who instigated me and who said, then the thought came into my mind. Then I said, Wisdom, we can't write a biography because I don't know much about him except for on the death day only. I know a lot of things. I have gathered a lot of things on him. So let us write something, a fiction, because he was very good at fiction. Wisdom was very good at fiction because he had written script for many Nollywood, that is a Nigerian film, and also Hollywood. One or two Hollywood also he has written scripts. So he came to me and we together wrote this book, Anand. And that's how it happened. The story is completely mine, but since he was an ace at fiction writing, Wisdom brought a lot of finishing touches to my book. Though he didn't know everything about Indian culture, Indian history, nothing. He didn't know what a sari is. He thought sari will be tied over head. So that kind of a naive person he was. But then when the book came out, it was a masterpiece, I can say. And I'm sorry to say, Wisdom is no more. I think he was only 25, 26 when somebody poisoned him. And I don't know, he couldn't see all whatever is happening in Spark right now.
Oh.
So I feel so sad for him.
but I think he was meant to initiate the spark for you to help you in this journey of just creating an amazing community that you have. And Sahana, apart from doing this, I think you have also created multiple series of co-authored books or anthologies, as we call them. How did that happen? What motivated you in terms of bringing people together, and what are certain challenges that you came across in that journey of uh, compiling multiple people's write-ups into one, and then of course publishing it, and the journey ahead from there. So yeah.
I told you when I started Spark writing group, very few had come to me. Around 5 or 6 people. It started with this 5, 6 people, and then I don't know the way I communicated with everybody, anybody who wants to write, who is an aspiring author and who is interested in books. I called them personally, and then I said, why don't you join my group? Why don't we do something for the country? Why don't we do something together? That was there in my mind. As I already told you, a lot of topics were there in my mind at that time. And thereafter, I said, okay, the first topic that I'm going to give you is about spirituality. There is a lot of difference between religion and spirituality. All those who are religious are not spiritual. All those who are spiritual are not religious.
True.
So I said, why don't we bring about a book on what do you feel about spirituality? This was my first book. When I gave this topic, it was amazing, amazing. So many people, it spread like wildfire, I can say. So many people came together and they all wrote. When they all wrote, initially I thought I had a website and I wanted to put all my articles into the website. That was my basic intention when I first started. But when I saw those articles, they were so amazing. I thought, why don't I convert this into a book? But I didn't have any publishing experience. I didn't know anything. I just, wanted to know more and more. So I contacted more and more people and I started a publishing house. And that's how Spark Igniting Minds Publishing House came into existence. And when all of them wrote, they were all so excited and they wanted a big launch. So I approached Sri Ravi Shankar, and in Kanakpura Ashram, our first book, Soul Surgeon, was released.
I love the journey that you're narrating, because you see, everything unites when you have a very simple intent of just being and helping individuals. Uh, you have done multiple series like these, and the best thing about you, that since I met you and I've noticed, is how you beautifully bring people together, and at the same time, you know how to actually amplify the results of things that you have gotten, because being in publishing, you know that there are so many authors who come in, who write their books, but then that is it, and then it puts a stop to that. The book is launched in on online, and then people get back to their lives. So I think it's a very beautiful poetic justice that is done to a book when it is launched with the right people, by giving it its importance and credit. Okay, and we being in the Indian culture, which has ancient roots, we know how we always have a way of appreciating by
Hmm.
celebrating whatever new
Hmm.
comes into our life. And I think that is something that you're doing really, really amazingly well. Uh, in this journey, okay, of writing, getting people together, and I know that you have some more books that are launching in February itself, and we'll come to that in just a bit. Um, However, what are certain challenges that you have noticed in authors or writers who want to write? Okay,
Yeah.
and what would you like to give them as a takeaway or a giveaway in today's episode?
Yeah, because I have come across many aspiring writers. They all want to write. There are a lot. See, for anybody, there are so many untold stories which is hidden in their heart that has to come out. Okay, but they don't know how to express it. Okay, so when it comes to literary expressing your stories as fiction, basically they have to read a lot. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
reading lot of books gives them lot of imagination, and while reading, they don't. The authors should not read just like a story. They have to observe the structure of the sentences there, and what are the literary devices that has been used there. Whether the sentence, this. Writing a simple one line sentence becomes so difficult if you have to write it correctly, and if you have to really impact the audience. It takes a lot of time. So authors have to learn while reading, novels. A lot of thing has to be observed: the writing style of the author, then how has he dealt with the plot, and whether it is from end it goes to a beginning, how has he brought the plot twists, and what is the climax. It is not the novel is always not moving from A to B. Okay, it is multiple things goes on. Like you say, you have to do the out of box thinking. One
Right.
is that, and the second one is using literary devices becomes very important. Whether whatever you are conveying, is it symbolic? Is there symbolism in there? Are you using a lot of metaphors in them? Or I mean, it has to, the end at the end of the day, it has to impact the audience, your storytelling. So that kind of storytelling, we taught. I have got a lot of mentors like Kirtana Venkatesh, Tejaswini, Shruti Raval, even Saurin also has taken many of my classes. And they really went into every detail of fiction teaching, and that's how our Spark Writers Retreat was a great success, I can say. So we taught all the nonsense of fiction writing, and I also keep researching of what is fiction, how to write, how to go about it, and I keep sharing my insights also, and also whatever I learn from others also I keep sharing. That's how. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that because fiction has not been my forte. I am a very much non-fiction writer. I can only write without sugarcoating things, as you know, it's as simple as that. I'm a very factual writer, and it
But
fascinates.
even in non-fiction, Snehal, I can say a lot of storytelling goes on.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Only when, even non-fiction, you have to say in a certain way to have an impact on the audience. You need not sugarcoat, even if you express it directly, whatever is there in your mind, but that has got a technique when you.
Absolutely. And that is something that I had to learn with time,
Yeah.
that, okay, if we are writing it, and the stories definitely, I think, play a very important role in making an impact because that's how we have learned everything in our life. Even as a child, I think most of the things we remember because they were told in a story format to all of us. And
Correct.
that is an art that I definitely had to learn, but it fascinates. Okay. So now
Yeah.
that I know that, okay, fine, this is what is true story for me, and I need to now narrate it. I have
Mm,
reached that stage,
mm,
yet, creating an absolutely new personality in your mind and, giving it all the characteristics and aura and, giving it a language pattern. I think that still fascinates me. How do you create characters and how do you, infuse them with an energy which is, so different from each other in one book itself? And
mm.
therefore, you are thinking like those so many characters as you're writing it. I think that just fascinates me, and I adore you guys for just being able to pen it down. So I think that's great. That's amazing, and I know that you have two more books launching, if I'm not wrong, right? So tell us a
Yes.
little bit more of what is upcoming, and then we'll talk about the event on Feb 17th that is happening.
Yeah, Feb 17th, a mega launch will happen in Mumbai. It is in Arman Bungalow, Juhu, Mumbai West. That is some creative space. It is an art gallery where we are launching the books, and we are launching two very important books. One is The Dot That Changed My Life. Okay, this book is a very, very interesting book because in everybody's life, there is a kind of transformation that takes place. So, the reason for the transformation may be a circumstance, maybe a pet, maybe a person, maybe some kind of something has happened, and that's why you are transformed. And so, we were searching for the dot which really changed your life. Okay, that dot may be a person, your mentor, your father, your mother, maybe some neighbor, maybe some incident. So that is a very great book. Each author has written amazingly well about their transformational story. And the next book that we are going to release is Story Through My Eyes. This is untold stories of divinity, I can say, from mythology, not only from Hindu mythology, we have even touched upon Greek mythology. And these stories are not very popular at all in the community. There are so many hidden mythological stories which still people don't know. Like many of them don't know that Sita is the daughter of Ravana, or not even Ravana, she is the daughter of Mandodari. Okay, Mandodari with not Ravana but somebody else.
Right.
Okay, so many of them don't know these stories. We have brought these stories, and those stories are also. It is not something mythological, and you just read it as a story and forget it. There is a message to be carried in those stories also. So that is a set of stories on 17th February, and none other than the famous best-selling business author, a Sanskrit scholar, Radhakrishnan Pillai will be with us. He will be our chief guest, and a lot of happenings are there during the launch. We have a panel discussion, we have poetry recitation, we have got a lot of prizes to be given away, and it'll be a wonderful, wonderful book launch. I can see all my book launches have been a kind of milestone in the Sparks journey, and this again will be another milestone. Apart from this, I am also launching my own book. I have written a book called Are You Smart with Words? Okay, this Are You Smart with Words? I have given poetic clues, and it is something like a game, I can say. It is a book which has got a lot of fun, and you have to really scratch your brains to get the words out.
That is
Yeah.
amazing. And I think all the listeners here, and I know that we do have a huge amount of listeners from Pune and Mumbai and places close by. So I would love to see you there because I will be there as well. This is an open invite. The information about this event and who to contact will be there in the captions of this episode. If you have a question, this episode also allows you to leave a question for us or for Sahana directly, and then we can address it to you. So you can put in your questions in the response to this episode, and we will reply. We'll get back to you as well. So, I would love to see you all. It's a great place for, as Sahana says, writing is something that is very intellectual, and it's something that I love to be as a part of energy. So if you are someone who loves an energy of intellectual people, wisdom conversations, and just something that would spark something within you, then I think we should all meet. So this is an open invite, guys. The details will be added. Sahana, what else? What else are you looking forward to in 2024 as we are still right at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, 2024. See, I have started a YouTube channel where I'm doing podcasts, and I
Mhm.
have interviewed many of the accomplished people of Karnataka, like Shankar Bidri, who was a police officer, IAS Somshekar, and many musicians, out of which the great Hindustani music singer who is famed for Vande Mataram. She is none other than Sangeeta Katti, and and my quest for knowing more and more people goes on. So I'll be interviewing a lot of people. That is one vision that I have for 2024. And apart from that, I want to bring more and more anthologies. The next anthology that Spark is going to bring out, I want all of you to come to the book launch. I'll announce there, and that I'll keep it as a, for you to come and take away from my this thing. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sahana, first of all, for being here, sharing your wisdom at the same time, inspiring us, okay? In helping us just simply understand without wording it that collaborations actually has so much more power in bringing change. And you have mastered collaboration. You have created community in a very short period of time because it takes time to actually get there and create a tribe, and especially creating a tribe of writers and authors, because while we have learned since childhood that pen has power and word is powerful, I think
The
somewhere
last thing I would like to say is most of them, many of them have turned into authors, Almost so many of them have acknowledged Spark in their books. That Spark was responsible for them to become an author. So I want more and more writers to come in and join Spark and become from a writer to an author, from an author to a prolific author, and to a bestseller and to an award winner. Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. It is an inspiration which proves that getting together and working together is something that is possible. And writers and authors generally have been either told that you can make millions, or they have been told that it's a hobby and just find a job. So helping them shift from that stage to actually creating a career or a life out of it is something amazing, and that is something that you are initiating. So thank you for that. Sahana, any last words before we close today's episode?
No, Snehal, I have told whatever was there in my mind. So I invite you all to the book launch on 17th. Please come that day. We are sharing the invite on this podcast also. Please come. Please give your support and please join us. And yeah, being among our Sparkian people will take you to a different level altogether, I can say. Thank you. Thank you, Snehal, for this wonderful interview and all the questions that you have asked, has brought my heart out here. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, that's the intent. So, I this entire series that we are doing, it actually is to bring more awareness to people about authors who are really, bringing in certain change, small change or big change into the world. So, thank you for being a part of this series, and guys, I will see you in the next episode with another author. Until then, please remember, we all are born abundant. All we need to do is claim that abundance by taking one step at a time. Are you taking that one step today? I'll leave you with that. See you very soon.